Hi there, welcome or welcome back. To some of you, this video might be a surprise, and to be honest, it is a surprise for me as well. I did not expect that I would be making art videos again, but I just felt like it. Um, so here it is. I never meant to stop making videos, but life just happened. I created this channel when I was a full-time illustrator and artist. But after a while, I had to switch to working full time to be able to support myself, and my jobs were non creative jobs. And I did try to keep up some freelance work, artistic freelance work after. So, between all of that and moving cities and countries, um, I stopped having time to create video content, and especially the type of videos that I was making and I wanted to make, um, because they just take a lot of time to film and to edit and to just make them as nice as I wanted as a perfectionist. So, with life getting busy, complicated, um, and exhausting, to be honest, I stopped being able to make art for myself at all. I have not done any art for myself at this point in years, and I have not picked up paints in at least a year, maybe two. So when I moved countries, I had to leave behind majority of my art supplies. Um, I just did not use them enough. I had too many, um, and it just did not make sense. So I took with me the things that I needed for some freelance work, um, or the things that I felt the most connected to. And from my traditional supplies, and specifically from paints, I only kept my watercolors. I have put a lot of effort into creating my watercolor colors palette and into understanding pigments and learning all about them, and about the quality of paper and brushes, and all of that. It's really a lot of knowledge, um, and I just somehow felt connection to watercolors, despite the fact that, um, in sort of my later time of working as an artist, I haven't really been using them much. And also, watercolors just take the least amount of space, um, so it was the easiest to just choose them as the item I will be moving with. I have been painting with watercolors for years. I took classes on watercolors, workshops. I went to plein airs, but I have never reached the level of mastery that I really wanted to. And I feel like after some time, I kind of gave up trying, but it is still a technique that I am very interested in. I want to keep learning and exploring. And I guess that's why it just called back to me. So here's an attempt to paint for myself again and see if I still know how to do it after years. If the skill, if everything I learned is still in my hands, in muscle memory, um, yeah, let's see together. So here I'm painting on scraps of Fabriano Artistico 100% cotton paper in hot pressed 300 grams. This is not my favorite paper, but I think from all that I tried, it is the most affordable, and also I think the easiest to get, kind of the most accessible in all the places I tried. This particular paper is quite old, so some of the problems might be due to wrong storage, but I do remember it always behaved this way. maybe it's just a little bit worse here. I know that cold pressed version of this paper doesn't have as many problems, so maybe that's something I should try. And of course, other types of paper. But for now, because I have a lot of this one, and I do have a lot of scraps from some work, um, that's what I'm using. So the problems I have here is that you can especially see it on the first layer, is that when painting a bigger irregular surface, uh, the paint tends to dry and absorb really fast. So it kind of leaves not enough time to really work the layer, the whole surface that I'm trying to paint. So um, so when I'm kind of trying to spread it one way and then come back to the other way to spread it in different direction, the pigment often already settles and creates a harsh line. Or if I go back to kind of lift it and rework it, it starts blooming. So blooming is especially a big problem on this hot pressed version of this paper. I also find that pigment picks up easier on this one compared to others. So especially here when I'm working on multiple thin layers, it can get muddy very easily or like leave lighter patches and if I'm kind of reworking, basically overworking one place too much. I know that I'm here using very thin, watered down layers, which is not something I want to do. I think I just have a problem really determining how much pigment I want um, sort of on my brush. I think it's something that I've always had problem with. I never really learned it or resolved it. So the way I'm painting here, I am not unhappy with how it's developing, but I'm finding myself very easily falling into this much more polished and detailed way of painting. I often call it sort of drawing with paint rather than painting. And what I would like to achieve much more is like a loose approach in fewer, more pigmented layers, more work with wet paint, instead of being able to put multiple pigments in kind of one wet space. But yes, this paper particularly makes it hard to do. This video is sped up by 20%, but the painting still only took me around 30 minutes to finish, which is good, which means that it's something that I maybe can occasionally squeeze in. I'm not showing the process of mixing paint here because honestly, one, I'm just not happy with my color choices here, and I'm just really struggling with the amount of pigment I want to use, with really which colors I want to use. I know all of my colors on my palette. I'm really happy with my choices. It's something that I want to keep this way, but still picking the colors to work with on a particular piece is just hard for me for some reason. If I keep finding time to paint and record it, I would consider talking more about my choice of colors and pigments on my palette, and also showing the broader view, so you can see how I'm actually mixing the colors and what colors I'm using from my palette. So if it's something that sounds interesting, let me know. I think I would need a little bit of more of painting, more warming up to really do that, but I would love to do it. So I can't really promise what else will appear on my channel, but I do currently feel like I want to do some painting. I want to explore how much I remember, how much I'm still able to paint, how much I can still learn or change. And if I do have time, I will be recording it. So please let me know what else you'd like to see, what else you'd like me to maybe talk about while painting. And I know my last videos were um, bookish content, and it is still something that it brings me a lot of joy and helps me a lot. So I think it's something that I would still possibly like to talk about. And I think art and books do go together pretty well. So that's all I have to say, pretty much. Please let me know in the comments what else you'd like to see, what else you'd like me to talk about, and if you're actually interested in seeing more painting content, or seeing it again, and coming along with me on this journey of figuring out if I'm still able to do it. Thanks for sticking around and enjoy the rest of the painting.